For this decision in depth, we're going to look at an endgame situation I faced recently, and specifically whether we should be buying some coppers to start to go after Fountain. As with all of these, let's start from the top and take a look at our board. This board has some draw. It has Highwaymen and Witch's Hut along with Snowy Village, so it's actually a little bit limited. And so you're kind of looking for some trashing if you're looking at this, specifically Snowy Village Highwayman. There is actually some trashing here. It's enhance. You can enhance coppers into peddlers once the cost of peddler is reduced, and in that way probably actually get a pretty good, well-working deck. You can play your cantrips before the Snowy Village reliably because of the duration draw, and kind of get drawing done. If you can get drawing done and there's Horn of Plenty on the board, that's certainly something you'll be looking at doing. And so if you can enhance enough coppers into peddlers, you can look at a big horn turn where you're going to gain like 4 or 5 provinces in the same turn. Unfortunately, our reality is that has not been happening, as you can see by the presence of 3 coppers here and only 2 cards in the trash roll, which is a messenger. So we did manage to trash out 1 copper, but there's 6 coppers around here. The question really is like, do we need to start adding coppers for potential defense against the opponent potentially going after Fountain? The opponent has 7 coppers. They would need to buy 3 or gain 3 in some way in order to get up to their Fountain points, and then they'd have a point lead here. We'll take a quick look at the opponent in that case, as we want to in these endgame situations. Opponent hasn't trashed a single card, so they're kind of in the same situation as us. It's been taking 2 turns, 1.5 to 2 turns to get through the entire deck. So we'll assume that the opponent's doing about the same. They have 2 Highwaymen out, we've had 2 Highwaymen out, etc. If we take a look at their gains, they have 2 Snowy Villages, they have a messenger, they've bought a mining road, so that's plus 4, so they have 5. Horn of Plenty they played and gained 1, so that ends up being 7. And that happens to be all of their gains here. So they have up to 7 gains. If they put a mining road and a Horn of Plenty together, you could buy a Horn of Plenty played off the mining road. So practically that's 8 gains. Piles are certainly getting low here. There's 5 of these things left, and Peddler's already out, and so 8 gains would actually theoretically be enough to gain 2 Horns of Plenty, gain 3 Highwaymen, and buy 3 coppers. So in that case, over the course of this shuffle, they could pile out and potentially win. This is going to take them 2 turns. We're pretty sure. So our question really is they're going to go after coppers first if they're going to do this. They need to be taking their coppers before they take this stuff. If they take this stuff first, clearly we can just pile out on them and win without having to worry about the points. And so the question becomes, next turn, if they do the coppers, most likely it's the case that we'll have to do some kind of point gaining response. Will we be able to make up enough points? And so, looking at our side, we have the same set of plus buy cards, but we happen to have 6 Horns of Plenty instead. And so, chances are, in 1 turn, we will be able to get 4 coppers. Just practically. Will we be able to pile out everything? Maybe, maybe not. But, if we take 2 coppers now, it's going to make our next turn dicier. It's going to be harder to put together extra gains. If they don't end up taking 3 coppers, how are we going to pile this stuff? If we need an extra turn after that, we need to be finding some Highwaymen. The 2 coppers decreases the chances of that. And so in this case, what we should be doing here is we should be pressing end buys. In the cases where we need points, we'll be able to get them. In the cases where we don't need points, we'll be able to win. So, let's not risk that by adding a couple more junk cards to the deck. Let's just move on into the next shuffle, see what happens.